Fake news. Jayne Valseca seemed to have everything she ever wanted: a loving husband, a beautiful family, and a peaceful life in a small town. However, in June 2007, her life changed forever after her husband, Eduardo Valseca, was kidnapped. NBC News Dateline: The Ranch chronicles everything that Jayne went through to bring Eduardo back home safely while also taking care of her children and negotiating with the kidnapper. Born on September 5, 1996, Jayne Valseca grew up in Silver Spring in Maryland, near Washington, D.C. After high school, she attended the University of Maryland before turning her attention to acting. While following her passion, Jayne spent time in New York and Los Angeles, California. She had some success appearing in several commercials and landing minor roles in soap operas and movies such as Loving and Stella. Jayne met Eduardo in 1992 in the parking lot of a supermarket in Maryland. At the time, Jayne was working in real estate while Eduardo was an art dealer and investor. They began dating and soon fell in love. After marrying on July 9, 1994, Eduardo and Jayne moved to ranch in San Miguel de Allende. The couple then welcomed 3 children, Fernando, Emiliano, and Naya. Jayne put her efforts into starting a cactus farm, and she also founded a Waldorf school along with her husband. It was where their kids studied. On the morning of June 13, 2007, Eduardo and Jayne dropped the kids off at school. As they pulled out of the parking lot, Jayne noticed a car following them, and in no time, a pickup truck appeared. These 2 cars boxed them in, and men in masks attacked the couple, first Eduardo and then Jayne. At this point, Jayne was left alone, still bound. An older man helped her, but nobody else stopped their vehicle, so Jayne said she jumped in front of a bus, just desperate to call the authorities. Since no one on the bus had a phone, she asked the cab for help to inform the police. Jayne later found a note from kidnappers by the car she was left in. It asked her to use an email ID for incoming communication and wait for further instructions. While the kidnappers had taken one of the men who carried the money to the drop site, he was released a couple of months later without any ransom. The family eventually moved to the suburbs in Maryland. Later on, Jayne revealed that throughout the kidnapping ordeal, she had been dealing with a crisis of her own. She was in remission from stage 4 inflammatory breast cancer. Sadly, just 2 weeks after Eduardo returned home, Jayne learned that cancer had come back, and at this time it was terminal. That's all for this video. We will be back with some other news. Till then, keep watching our channel, Dekh News.